into the Preston Park, and Kylie with her performance. People like Grace Jones, Jessie J yesterday, so it's a big weekend. Now then, here's something maybe you weren't expecting, certainly I wasn't, catching up with a familiar face by the BBC bus on Hove Seafront on Saturday morning. Ex-footballer, pundit and football manager Graham Souness.
BBC Pride. Brighton and Hove Pride with Danny Pike.
It's Pride 2019, so you can expect all sorts of sights here today. Perhaps something you wouldn't expect to see here is the man who's standing next to me now, the Liverpool legend, Graham Souness. Good morning, Graham.
Good morning.
It's great to meet you. Your first time at Brighton Pride.
Yeah.
What brings you here today?
Well, for a couple of years I've worked with Paddy Power. They approach things differently. Yeah. Let's say differently, interesting. 6 months ago they said to me, would you be interested in going down to Brighton for the parade? After a couple of meetings, it became very obvious to me that homophobia still exists in the professional game. You know, I've been in the game for close to 50 years. I started off in the late 60s as a young boy. It existed then in dressing rooms, it existed on the terraces, and I'm not sure if we made any strides forward.
Maybe some, but not completely.
Not in
and Brighton
football.
Fans would probably back you up on that if they go when they go to certain grounds.
Yeah, not in the professional game. You know, I go to a stadium every week with the job I do now, and you know, there's always, not every week, but sometimes, most of the time, you're hearing ridiculous chants. You know, someone's shouting something completely stupid, and it saddens me because, you know, the LGBT community has made enormous strides in the last 20 years in society, but why not football? You know, football seems to have stood still. It just seems really, and I'm an ex-player, from an ex-player and an ex-manager, I think it saddens me that, you know, there's no one out there that is a professional footballer feels either comfortable enough, confident enough to come out.
And do you think that is because of reaction within the club or within support for clubs?
I think it's right across the board. I think it starts at the very top with the FA, they could do more, to the PFA they could do more, to the clubs themselves from the boardroom all the way down to the dressing room and onto the terraces. It is an extremely homophobic atmosphere at times when you go to a game, and it saddens me. You know, I'm here today to learn more about the LGBT community.
Right.
You know, this is not a community that I took a great interest in before, but the meetings I've had in the last 6 months, it's something that as an ex-professional footballer, it's something that I've got a voice. Hopefully people are listening to this and they're thinking, maybe I'll look at it differently, and that's how I am right now. I'm looking at it very differently to the way prior to 6 months ago.
Certainly from the point of view of what you've achieved in the game, people might listen to you because you're a champion, you're a European champion, you're a Liverpool legend, so if you have something to say, some people will listen to you. So do you think there are probably players either in the Premier League or elsewhere in our leagues who don't feel able to be open about their sexuality? And football's about expressing yourself on the pitch, so if you can't express yourself completely in your life, that restricts you, doesn't it?
Well, I think that's guaranteed. You know, there's 4,000 professional footballers in England. I think the stats will tell you there's bound to be gay and bisexual young men playing football today in the professional game.
Right, okay. And so a unique idea they've come up with for you today. You're managing a team of players in the parade. So what's going to be happening, Graham?
They're a team, some from Spain, most from the UK. They have come out and they're happy to be here today, and I'm happy to lead them. I'm happy to be the voice that's showing I'm an ally. That's how I see myself, and hopefully going forward this might just wake a few people up to the situation in football. It is homophobic, the professional game I'm talking about, it is homophobic, and we have to tackle that. We can't bury our heads in the sand and think we know it's there and we don't, we'll just keep ignoring it. We have to tackle it.
So that sounds like a powerful message. You leading a team of LGBTQ players through the streets of Brighton in today's parade.
That's exactly it, to show that I am with them. I'm with them, an ally.
BBC Pride.
What do you think of that then there? I mean, a lot of people have been complaining about the number of big corporate sponsors involved in Pride, and there you've got, on one hand, big betting company, Paddy Power, but highlighting a serious issue, the lack of openly gay professional footballers and the fact they feel they can't be out and openly gay. Is that a useful contribution to the conversation, I wonder? Does having one of our great players Graham Souness coming to Brighton, joining the parade and highlighting the issue. Does that make a difference? Love to know what you think. Give me a call.
Call BBC Sussex
0800 232 1045.
BBC Sussex.
You can text me as well, 81333, start your message with the word radio. So on one hand, you've got a big multinational betting company there, and perhaps next to them in the parade, a very much more local group. Let's catch up with one of those. Out to Swim South. Based in Brighton and Hove, Ian Gowers is a member of the group and joins me now. Hello, Ian. Morning to you.
Good morning.
What is Out to Swim?
So we are a group of friendly swimming aquatics group. We swim 3 times a week in Brighton. We're an LGBTQ plus and ally swimming team.
Okay, and here's a question. Why are you needed, do you think?
I think that in a lot of sports, as you've just heard, that there's a kind of over-masculinity that people find a little bit off-putting sometimes about joining up. There's also that theory about the fact that, well, were you the last one to be picked in sports at school, and now as an adult, you may found yourself a bit more stronger, a bit more confident, and you might actually want to turn to exercise and take it to the next level, which is obviously what we're here for. And
so you obviously provide a safe atmosphere, non-judgmental atmosphere for that to happen in. Absolutely. So we've been running since, I think it's 2002 in Brighton. There is a London branch that's been running for over 25 years, and there's another branch based in Bristol. And yes, that's the primary focus of us, is to provide an area of which people come in, they feel relaxed, it's friendly, there's a social element to it, and yeah, it's great, it's completely thriving sport. One of the big things that I think is genuinely happening within the sports scene is this sudden uprising of LGBT sports. In Brighton there is an organisation called BLAGS, and they run numerous different activities, as you heard, from football to rugby and so on and so forth. And they are constantly busy. It is a big group that's coming up. I think it's probably the biggest group of people, I think, plus 30 that are actually returning to sports. That's interesting, isn't it? Okay, and also very eye-catching entry into the parade, because it was your members in just their swimming cozies, so thankfully it was a nice day, but certainly eye-catching, head-turning. But also, just talk to us about what you feel, Ian, about the contrast in the floats. Some of them great big articulated lorries with famous brand names on them, putting on quite a show, and then there's your boys and girls walking in their trunks. So I'm in a bit of a strange point here, because I work for one of the companies that, I won't mention its name, that was have one of the large floats. Mm-hmm. The parade, as I'm aware, is primarily funded by those larger floats. So I think that Out to Swim's entrance to the parade was something with under £100, and I can tell you that one of the larger floats, it's definitely not that amount of money. I can't tell you exactly how much it is, but it is... It would probably have one or two more noughts on the end, I'm guessing. Exactly, yes. Does it matter? Does it matter? I think it matters really what those floats are saying. We're very restricted in what we can and can't say in terms of a commercial company. I think it only matters if some of those organisations are questionable in terms of their involvement, what they've done before, and so on and so forth. One of the things that's very clear, I think, that people should understand is to be in the parade as a commercial company, you have to be part of an LGBT staff forum. So you can't just rock up as a company and say, okay, we want to be in this parade, and have no real sort of background to being there. So you've got to live it as well. You can't just cash in on it. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And here's a question again for you, Ian. I think, does it show everybody else the commitment that the company has then to people like you working within the organisation? Does that make you feel better about the place you work, because at a very public level they're willing to support your sexuality? It absolutely does. I think because people can visibly see those companies, I think the question really is what companies are not in the parade? What are the large companies in the town that you don't see? Things that we take for granted. Why, for example, our leisure centres, they're all run by the same company. Why weren't they in the parade? Why, just think about the things that we use regularly in the city, or the companies. Where are they in that parade? Because they should be there, because they should want to say, yes, we have LGBT staff and we support them, and this is something that we're really valuing.
I think the wording really is the diversity and inclusion. Where are the diversity and inclusion from our larger companies in this city?
Okay, that's an interesting one. Obviously, I'm dying to know where you work now, but I won't ask you, Ian. But back to Out to Swim. You know, when I saw your team in the parade there, sandwiched between two big lorries, so you got huge trucks, then you got a bunch of walkers in between. I just thought, well, this is a great opportunity for your relatively small group. That's no disrespect, but it is. It's very local. It's very close to the ground. It's working, with people locally in the city, and has been doing, as you say, since 2002. Gives you a great platform, doesn't it?
It gives us the best platform ever. And this year we had our London swimming team came up with a choreographed dance routine, and that was completely eye-catching. We get the best amount of attention because I can't think of any other way that we could make people in the city aware that we're here. Obviously there is the LGBT media, which we regularly publish articles in, but once we're out of that side, how do we tell people that this is something that we do in this city? Pride were very clear with us when we signed up this year. They wanted to make sure that people understood that we weren't just an organisation that was primarily based in London and came down and did things a couple of times in Brighton, that we are here 3 times a week. Our membership is just for Brighton. The parade just gives us that opportunity to show who we are and show everything about us, and we tried our best to make sure we maximise that. And we can tell today just by things like Facebook and Instagram, people liking us and adding us, and later on today we will get a few inquiries about membership, so that works perfectly for us.
Yeah, and if it encourages more people to feel confident to come in and take part in sport at whatever level, whatever their ability. When I was chatting to Martin, I think, in the parade on Saturday, he was talking about, diversity of bodies as well, non-judgmental about whether you're, a finely honed athlete or perhaps not. Do you know what I mean? Everybody is welcome, and it gives people that safe space. So the opportunity to chat to Martin on Saturday, knew now, well, hopefully that helps. But it was an organisation I didn't know about, so I've learnt something as well.
Brilliant. And so Martin was exactly right in the saying is the fact that there might have been a lot of people wearing Speedos in that parade, but you definitely don't have to wear Speedos when you swim with us. And the diversity bodies, I'd like to say the word dad bods just to get people to understand that, completely, exactly. If we could get people past that thing about, sitting in a pair of swimming trunks and get them into the pool, then that's brilliant. That's job done.
So if we just search Out to Swim South on your usual places, we'll find you, will we?
Yes, you will do, yes. Yeah.
Great, thanks, Ian. And did you have a good time?
I had a great time, and I apologise for my voice because I might have sung to Kylie a bit too loudly, and my voice isn't quite as 2 days later where it would normally be. But yeah,
usually a good indicator of a good time. Nice speaking to you. Thanks, Ian.
Thank you very much.
Take care. Thanks for chatting to us on BBC Sussex and BBC Surrey.